Hello everyone, my name is Beth and I'm an artist with Saint, and today we're going to be doing a Get Ready With Me. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on here, and I've missed sharing with you some different things going on in my life, as well as some of my favorite makeup and ways to apply it. Today we're going to talk about under eye. I'm going to do my whole face, but we're going to talk about how to correct the hollows. I have more of the hollows. I think I have a little bit of both, but definitely have the hollows. If you look that, I'm going to try a couple of different things today to help correct that. But first off, we are going to start with the eyeshadows. I like doing the eyeshadows first because I do have the darkness underneath, and that way I don't have to worry about any fallout from being heavy-handed or just not being as careful as one time versus another. So I'm going to start with my eyes. I am using Saint makeup, so everything I use today makeup-wise will be Saint, other than my mascara. Saint recently pulled their mascara to improve the formulas, so I will be using Thrive mascara today. So, all right. So today we're going to use blue. I've been wanting to try this. I got one of our pressed pigments in, and I just love blue grayish tones. So this one is blue suede. Yeah, that's blue suede. So we're going to use that today along with Bubba, Stay Golden, and Drift. But first I'm going to put my Sigma eye primer on just to help with the discoloration that I have on my eyes. I have a specific brush that I use for spreading this out. I don't put any other dark shades on it. It's just for eye prep. And so the Sigma stick you can get off of Amazon. And this brush, I got this one from Beauty Society, but you can really just use any brush that's dense like that. So you're just gonna spread this all over. Got my hair cut today. Bangs are still, they're good, but I know they'll grow too fast. So there's probably still a little long for me. Let me find my clip to get those out of the way. Put them over this way today. And of course I'm gonna have some stragglers. Okay, that way, most of it's out of the way. You need to put the Sigma on fairly quickly because it dries down and it stays put. I don't have to worry about my eye makeup going anywhere. Excuse me, got a little itch. Don't have to worry about it going anywhere once that's there. It's a great base. So I'm going to use, let me see here. I'm going to use the eyeshadow brush today, and I'm going to use Stay Golden. So these are the colors we're going to use today. Stay Golden, Blue Suede, Drift, and that's Bubba. But we're just going to use Stay Golden as just our base color today. Just a powder. Basically, powders blend better on powder. So we're just going to dust a little bit of that on. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a little bit of a base. So what are you guys doing this summer? We just finished moving my middle child. Her and her husband moved out of state to start his residency with medical school. So I have been there with them for the past 2 weeks. Well, I've been there more than that, helping them pack and just getting everything ready. They have a 6-month-old, so it's a little more challenging to get things packed up and then get them unpacked with a small baby around. So I've been up there helping, heading back up this week. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with us now. We're going to the beach in just a couple of weeks, so can't wait for that. All right, next I'm going to put on Bubba, and that's that deeper brown tone. And that's going to go just above the crease. So I start with small little swirls, and then a windshield wiper it. And you can build this as dark or as light as you want, but I think I want to stick with it right there. I'm just tapping off the excess too before I start, and notice that I'm holding the brush further back. The further back you hold it, the less pressure it creates, and you can get, you don't get that uneven or too heavy of color payoff. And go back over here because I always do the other eye a little heavier. Okay. Then next, I'm going to flip my brush over. So we've been using the fluffy end of the brush, and now we're going to use the softer end of, the smaller end of the brush. And I'm going to go tap into the blue and tap that off. And we're just going to come over here and kind of go at an angle and just press that in. And I'm going to take it down here a little bit. Got a little low, but I'll clean that up. And then we're going to flip the brush and blend. The blue suede is part of our pressed pigments. They are heavily pigmented, even though our other shadows are too. These are, I think, a little bit more pigmented. I'm going to go in that crease a little more. So the color payoff is really, really good. And you just kind of keep swirling until you have it to where you want it. So who else likes to go to the beach? That's where we're going in a couple weeks, and I can't wait. Beach is my happy place, I call it. Honestly, anywhere that I can just sit, relax, and not do much is a happy place. That's not true. I enjoy. My happy place is with my family. But they're at the beach too, so that's great. But it is nice to not have all the responsibilities to do. All right. Just getting that. Using my finger here because it's the shadowing of the texture of my eyes there, but that I have a little, it goes in more right there. So sometimes it creates a greater shadow than I like. All right, now on to the other eye. So the whole family will get to come to the beach with us, our 3 kids and the 3 grandbabies. They will all be there for about 3 days, all of us together. But we'll kind of be phasing in and out throughout the week. My son will have a friend coming, and his girlfriend joins us too. We kind of play shuffling the bedrooms with everyone. Just to make sure we have room for everyone. So, all right, I'm gonna go back and do the same thing over here. This side doesn't, if you can tell, I don't have that as defined of a dip in there. So I always can get this to go on a little smoother than what it appears over here. So sometimes I overcorrect. So just remember your eyes are sisters, not twins. And so if they don't look exactly the same, it's okay. Don't stress yourself out too much. So, okay, so back to what we were doing. I'm now going to just put a little bit of Bubba just to kind of blend things together up there. And then we're going to put Drift, which is our shimmer, just right in the center here. And then over to the side. You can even use on the excess kind of put on the ends. And then once more, just kind of blend it out. Okay, there is that. Then I'm going to take my fluffy brush and dust off any fallout. I think today I'm going to, let me see here, find which brush I want to use. I am going to try to do an eyeliner using the blue suede. And basically I'm going to dampen the end of this brush, the brow brush. And then I'm just going to tap it in to get a little bit on there, on the sides. And then I just want a little bit, and I'm going to come up just slightly, because as you can see, I have a little bit of downturned eyes. I'm going to come up just slightly from that corner and then across, and I'm looking in the mirror beyond. And you want to keep your eyes fairly natural. And then I'm going to meet that this way. Tap back into it. And that creates just a little bit of lift on the outside edge. And just take and drag that. And I'll clean it up a little bit more. Just a minute. That'll help to lift, so it creates a upturn. I'm gonna put a little more, the brush. So it's great because you can use a little bit of setting spray and make eyeliner using just your regular colors. I'm just gonna stamp it up a little bit. And again, we're just gonna kind of stamp along the bottom and meet it to create that upturn. I want to get the end point brush to do this, but I thought this one might work decently. Just make that a little more noticeable. So you kind of come to the outside part of your eye where the color is, and that's how far I bring it in. Again, they're sisters, not twins, but I do tend to get a little uneven on my eyes, so I have to work at it. Okay, I'll thin that out in a little bit. I like the way this one turned out better. But that's okay. And there you go. Just gives that little bit of upturn. And you can even, if you want, put a little bit of, stamp a little bit of color on the inner part. Just to close that off. Okay. It looks good. So today I'm actually going to put a little bit of primer on. This is Milk Hydro Grip. Earlier I prepped my skin with Prequel's Solar Shade Sunscreen for being out in the sun, and I use the Supergoop's Bright Eyes because my eyes are super sensitive to any kind of sunscreens getting near them. But because of that, it's a little, I just need a little tack because I tend to get oily. So that's the best way to say it. So Just gonna put a little pump on my fingers here of the Milk Hydro Grip. Rub it together. I'm just gonna kind of where I get oily, I'm gonna tap on in the creases here. And just put the rest of it, that little bit, spread out over the rest. All right, and let that set for a second. Now we're going to do the under eyes like we talked about, and I'm going to show slightly different on each eye and see which one we like better. So, all right. So we're just going to put a little bit of eye balm under, and it also helps to clean that up. So go up on the inside. And this just adds the hydration that you need under your eyes. Because if you put correctors, concealers, whatever you want to call them, on skin that's dry, then they're just going to look dry. But if you put a little bit of balm, it gives a little bit of the tack that you need. You want to put a balm and not like a creamy moisturizer where things will slip. You want something that'll moisturize, but also your corrector color can stick to. So, all right. So we are going to color correct with Mango, and I'm going to use, actually my blend brush today, and I'm going to tap into it. So Mango has some orangey yellow to it, but that's a lot. I'm going to tap it onto the back of my hand because I just want a little bit of color. And you can see how I have the darkening there. We're just going to lightly tap below it to begin with, and then tap up into it just to color correct that darkness. As I've been playing with this, I found that tapping it on the back of my hand helps me to put down less product in that area and just evens it out better. So hopefully you can tell that it is correcting some of that darkness. Now, obviously it looks yellow right now, but we are going to take care of that in a bit. Now on this other side, we're going to try a different method. We're going to use this brush. I am having trouble remembering what this one is called, but it helps to put mascara on your lower lashes, but also a little, this would have been good for my eyeliner actually too. But I want to use it to draw a line more specifically, just kind of dots into this one over here. Now, I don't have any discoloration out here, so we don't need to go all the way out. So we're going to do that. And then just so that I have a clean brush, we're going to go in here with the detail brush on the end of that. And it may need a little bit more. Put some more. Yeah, it needs a little bit more. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can see as I look straight. If I look down, you're still going to see, just because there's a hollow there. But hopefully you can see the color correcting is a little bit better here. I'm going to put just a tiny bit more. I'm not putting more on my brush. I'm just going in a little more. You want to look up. Okay, that's better. And I always like to kind of feel to make sure I didn't get too much on. And now before we put any of the corrector, the concealer, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my color correcting on my face so that we can tell a better difference with the eyes with that. So I am also going to go into Mango to help with the different areas on my skin. And you just need a little bit. If you feel like you get too much, just tap it off, or if you need to blend it more evenly. But I have discoloration here. I've got my melasma spotting here, so we're just gonna kind of tap it in circles, or you can buff it in. You can just swirl it like that. And basically we're just bringing up those tones, like the skin around those darker tones, to match those tones, so that when I go in with my main shade, everything just kind of blends together. I've got redness around my nose, so we're just gonna put a light veil of that. You're not wanting to change your face color. In this case, for me, it'd be kind of a yellowish color with this mango. You don't want to put so much that you're completely changing your color trying to cover those up. But you want to put enough just to camouflage it. I've got some here. I'm just going to bring it up here a little bit. And my spots over there. So using mango is one way that I color correct my face. I also sometimes will use aspen if my face is more red, and also sometimes walnut on my darker spots to blend those. That's not a common way to do it, but it works for me, so I do that sometimes. But today, I just thought I would do the mango. All right, so then after you've color corrected all of the different areas of your face, and hopefully you can see, it has given me a little tan, but hopefully you can see those spots are not coming through as noticeably. Now I'm going to go into Athens, which is my main shade. I shaded up from Candlelit to Athens, and I just pounced in a couple times. You don't need much. And I'm just going to go over those areas that I just color corrected very lightly. I feel like I'm getting the sunglasses nose. My nose, I feel like, is a little more reddish, tannish today than normal. And I wear my sunglasses almost all the time, so it's like a very noticeable line. But we can fix that. So just take that main color up here. We're just kind of marrying it all together. Same over here. I'm also gonna put some contour up there. Definitely gotta tone that down. I don't like the way that. Sorry, just noticed that. There, I think I finally got it. There we go. There we go. Great thing about makeup is you can just keep playing with it till you get it to where you like it. Okay. So, sorry, got a little hair there. So all of that's kind of blended together now. I'm just gonna pat it a little bit more. And then I'm gonna go into, oh, I forgot to get my contour shade out. Let me do that real fast. I think I'm gonna do ash today. So we're gonna do ash for contour. So basically with the contours, you just want to pounce. You'll have to pounce a little harder into your creams for that, but you just get it on the edges of the brush. And you can get it all at once, or you can get one side at a time. And you're just gonna find that line from your ear to here and find that bone. If you press up, you can find the bone, and that's where your contour goes. From the ear to the corner, and then just keep pouncing it upward, kind of flicking it almost to get that line not so noticeable. But if it is more noticeable than you want, I'll show you how to fix that, because that side is, for me. This one's a little bit better. It's just creating the shadows to give yourself, especially as we get older, we lose that definition in our cheeks, and I just like to have that. So then I'm going back in. I'm just gonna tap ash up on the top here, but I'm not gonna go here because we don't want that to recede, because darkness makes things sink in. Light brings them out, so I don't want that to look any more sunken in. So then I'm gonna just swirl this up into my hairline. And you can bring it down over the eye a little bit. Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna also take it under our chin. So basically, there's a shadow here. So you're just gonna flick down a little bit. Watch your earring. And you wanna come under where that shadow is. Now for me, I do have that little bit of a gel, so I do wanna come over that to create a shadow on that. It's hard to do it looking in the different mirrors. And then you can just bring it down to help match your neck with your chin. All right. So what beaches do you guys like to go to, if you like to go to the beach, or are you more of a mountain person? Just bring this up under here. We like both, but I kind of like to go to the beach with the whole family because one of my girls hates bugs. She's older and she still hates bugs, and the mountains just aren't her thing as much. So the beach is more fun, even though she doesn't love sand. She used to say when she was younger, basically her feeling about the beach was the water's too wet, the wind's too windy, and the sand's too sandy. So she was not a big beach kid after a certain point. She loved it until she got a little older and she started getting swimmer's ear quite a bit. So that kind of changed her perspective of it. All right, we're also going to go ahead and contour the nose. And I like to use the smaller end of the detail brush to be more accurate. All right, and then I can just bridge it over if you want. All right, there's that. Okay, so how's it coming together? Hopefully you can see. So what I was saying about if you get too harsh of a line, then you go back into your main shade and you just come in here, clean it up, and just kind of blend them together. Same over here if you need to. But remember, anywhere that you put down your concealer shade, you don't want to buff. You want to stipple. Okay. But down here, just meeting everything up to help it match. So now we are going to go into our concealer shade. And I'm going to do it 2 different ways on each side. So I'm going to put it down with our blend brush. And it doesn't really have any more, even though it's got that orangey tone, or it doesn't really have any more that's coming off on my hand or anything. So it's okay to go into the same brush. We're just going to tap into that a couple of times, get the excess off on my hand, and we're going to start right here on this eye. I'm going to get a little bit more. I'm going to pinch it and go up here, pinch it and go in the corner. And then on the other side, I'm going to try that similar method that we did with the other of where we're just kind of going in with this. Coming down a little, up a little. Now with this one, we're gonna kind of dot in there. And then on both sides, I'm just gonna kind of use this little brush to line it down. And come up for some lift on my lips. Okay, so we are gonna take our tip here and we're just gonna tap on the outside edge, moving up and down. And then we're gonna go up, once it's not as heavy, we can come down. And hopefully you can see it as well as I can, that that bag is not as accentuated as it was. Skin is skin. It's still gonna potentially show texture and things to a degree, but we don't want it showing everything. We don't want to show every, darkness and everything. So our goal is to get it to where it just looks smooth and doesn't add extra texture. Now I just flipped it to the other side there. And I'm gonna, here, same thing, flip it, kind of brush that out. Okay, on this other side, this is the new technique that I've wanted to try. So we're gonna take our setting spray and our beauty blender. I did not get it wet this time. We're gonna use the setting spray to wet it. We're just gonna get it wet, and we're gonna take that setting spray and pounce. That's why I put a little bit more. I may have put too much setting spray there. I probably did. Because this is the first time trying. We're gonna see how that looks. I feel like I needed a little bit more, so we're gonna put a little more on. Because I think I put too much setting spray on my sponge. Okay, make sure it's dried down a little bit. Okay, that's better. Doing it this way, it definitely requires more of the concealer shade or the brightener shade, whichever you want to call it, in the area. So just be aware of that. But I kind of like how it looks. I feel like it gave it a nice, smooth texture. Kind of like that. Okay, so we don't want either side to crease. I really do like that. It just looks very light. Like, I feel like this is a little heavier the way I did it. So we're just gonna, either way, we want to set under our eyes. So we want to flick out. So take the tip and flick anything that might have settled into those creases. And I'm just gonna pat a little bit and flick to get them a little more even. Okay, same over here. Just let it flick like that. All right. And normally I do my blush first, but I didn't this time. So no big deal. I just wanted to mention that. I usually do that before the under eyes, but I was really looking forward to doing the under eyes. So I want to make sure I'm more accurate with my placement of my blush because of that. So I am going to tap into the color I'm going to use today. We're going to use Sangria today. Get Sangria here. I'm tapping it onto my blend brush, and then I'm going to tap it onto my hand because Sangria is a very vibrant color. And we're just gonna stay on the outside here, that orbital bone. So you don't want to do this and put here, because when it drops, it's gonna drop way down here. So if you notice, I just slightly raise my smile to get that, but I don't do it heavily. All right, I'm gonna tap out again the excess on my hand. And same thing over here. I start about here and smile a little bit. So yeah, so beach again. Was hoping to be in a little more shape for the beach, but my time has gotten hijacked. So we're preparing for our Hawaii trip, and we're doing the green sand hike is what I call it, to get to the green sand beach. And it's definitely not an easy, it's 2.5 miles in. And so it's not an easy hike in because of the elements. It's just, there's no shade. It's uneven terrain, but not like hilly or anything. It's flat until you get to the cliff where it drops down to the beach. So I was hoping to have a routine in place to where I was walking every day, or not every day, at least 3 to 4 times, and just then adding in and preparing for it. That has not happened yet. I will let you know when it does, but that's what I was hoping for when we went to the beach, that I would be kind of prepared for that and ready to go, but that didn't happen. That's okay though. All right. I am going to actually try something new too. I'm going to take again setting spray. I am going to get it a little more damp this time and just squeeze it in. And I'm just going to pounce just to make sure I didn't get any other excess anywhere. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to brighten down my nose. Don't know how I forgot that. So just taking this and pouncing it to pick up any excess product. And then we're just going to take our brush, go down the center of the nose, and then fan it up and out. And I'm going to bring it here and bring it here a little bit more. And then we're going to just push that up and marry it with the other color, because you want to brighten down the center just to bring that light to it. And then take this. All right, there we go. And now I'm going to set everything with my Blue Marble setting spray. And take the powder brush and just pounce it. My husband just snuck in behind me. And now we are going to, let's see here. I'm going to put on my mascara next. This is, I think, charcoal. This is a Thrive, let me see what the color is. It's Thrive Cosmetics in Whitney, which is kind of a charcoal gray. So you want to get at the roots and pull up and wiggle it. And then I leave my eyes open a little more, blink still a little bit. And then I like to come down on the other side too, and then back up. And then a little bit on the bottom. All right. And then just go back in. Same thing. the root, wiggle, 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 and then work toward the tips. Then I come down, then back up, and do the bottom. I like this softer charcoal gray because it kind of matches my tones right now a little bit better. I am going to try something new really quick. This is also from Thrive Cosmetics. Oops, sorry, I'm being so loud. And then we'll do our lips. This is a brow wax or gel. I can't remember what it was called. But I noticed the other day that my brows are starting to get a little bit, actually I'm going to brush them first. A little bit lighter. So I decided I would get this and see what that did. All right, there we go. I really like the Bubba and the blue suede together. So this, just brush it. It's supposed to just give a little more color to the lashes, or excuse me, the brows. All right. I still have not really worked much with penciling in, so I thought, well, this might work, because I think I'm getting to where I need to, because you can see I've just gotten some unevenness in my brows, so, but it's okay. All right, next I'm going to put some Plum lip liner on. You just want to go, you don't want to go all the way into the corner if you are of a certain age, because our lips already turn down. And if you, excuse me, if you take the liner into the corner, it's just gonna pull it down more. This is slight under, went a little more than I intended to, but let's fix it there. And then just use your finger to buff it out. Oh yeah, I like that. Put a little more there and just buff it. It is being stubborn. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to take our Sangria lip oil and just hit it right there, and a little bit on the top. Notice I didn't take it all the way to the corners either, because it'll kind of spread out a little bit when I'm doing that. Yeah, you're gonna always, so that you don't get too much in the corners, do that. And there we go. Oh, one thing, you do need to set under your eyes. I almost forgot that. So a couple ways to do it. One of the ways is, I like the Pilot brush. You just tap, tap, knock any excess off, and press. Because remember, we already got the excess off, but you do want to make sure that you have gotten all the excess off before you put the powder, because you don't want to set any creases into it. So this is a great brush because you can just press it and go. All right. And then I also bring down the sides, and sometimes my chin gets a little oily, so, and then I take a little bit of excess up there. Okay, I think we are done. I appreciate your time and spending your time with me today. If you would like to get a color match, please just type in the comments match, and I will get back with you on how to do that. And you can, of course, always go to my Blend with Beth website, and it's in my link tree, and go and do the color match there, or I can try to help you more directly with a custom color match to get you started. So anyway, hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks again for joining me. And remember, blend, don't blend in.